He's always working hard, and I really appreciate him, especially he's leading a beautiful our Sunday praise team. So everybody know him. So let us invite him.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Am I loud enough?
Yes.
My wife always says I'm too loud, so
That's good.
if you go like that, I'll know what I mean. You'll know what I mean. I want to be loud enough that you can hear because I want to make sure you all stay awake. Sometimes I get a little boring when I'm talking, so I don't want anything to happen like that. It's very important because today's message is important. And again, I really thank you so much for the opportunity to be here. It's really a pleasure, it's an honor, and a privilege really to stand up in this special place, Las Vegas. So welcome everybody, and you know, as I look around and look out into the audience, I can see that we're all getting older.
Thank you.
Not everybody. And this is just an exaggeration for my joke coming up here. You know,
Is that us?
well, you know, it's really true. I'm getting older. And as we get older, you know, things start changing a bit, right? Would you say so?
Yes.
You know, they say you can tell that you're getting older when you look in the mirror and you see your father or your mother. But things start to go, you know, after a while, as I got older, things quit working, you know. Most things hurt, and what doesn't hurt doesn't work. So, you know, it started off with my eyes, you know, seeing, and I'm supposed to wear glasses, but I don't, and I can't see much. And then my hearing, you know, I drive my wife crazy. You know, it's what? Huh? What? But the worst thing is the memory. My memory. You know, I really have trouble remembering things. You know, in fact, I swear, if my memory was any worse, I could plan my own surprise party. As we get older, your secrets become safe with your friends because they can't remember either. Chloe and I went over to a friend's house, her elder couple too, and we had dinner. It was a wonderful dinner, and me and Harry were sitting around in the living room kind of talking, right, and the girls were in the kitchen washing dishes, and so Harry says, "Hey, I found this fantastic, really wonderful Brazilian restaurant." Oh, great, Claudine will love that. What's the name of it? He said, it's a, you know, it's, he goes, he says, what's the name of that flower? You know the red flower that has thorns and everything? I said, Rose? He goes, yeah, Rose. What's the name of that restaurant? Oh, thank you. So today, the title of the sermon is, I believe. It could have been, I think, or I thought, or thoughts. It's a little bit spiritual, a little metaphysical. I was thinking about just meditating for about an hour, but I thought actually I'd like to give an explanation of something that I found very important. It's about believing. It's about thinking. Our mind is a very powerful thing. You know, all of our body, it connects to it and does all these amazing things, and we just can't even understand how it can, you know, keep your hands moving and your feet moving and your mind going, and you can hear and you can see, and then you can think, and all these things, and it's all coming from your mind, and to really be able to do that, it's amazing. You know?
Yes, it is.
The mind is a powerful thing. And, anyways, as I was mentioning, as we get older, we forget. we forget many of the important things that we learn in life. You know, things that we learn, you know, we've heard fathers speak for many years, many of us, and we've heard things, but sometimes we kind of forget these very important life lessons, these very important things that really help us to be the kind of person that God's looking for in us, to be able to accomplish His will and really establish His kingdom here on this earth. So I'd like to begin with a few Bible verses. Mark 9:23, Jesus is helping somebody's son who has a problem, casting out the problems, and they're saying, "Can you do it?" kind of thing. And Jesus says, "If you can believe, all things are possible to him that believe." You know, that's just a short little sentence. But did you ever just think about that sentence? If you believe, all things are possible to him that believes. Now, it didn't say some things. It didn't say the little things. It says all things.
All things.
All things
Yeah.
to him who that believes. In Matthew 21:22, it says, "And whatever things you ask in prayer, believing, you will receive."
Yeah.
So now God's not only saying, ask. Now, if our children ask
Yeah.
for something, we don't make them believe it, right?
No.
No, we just hear or not, but God is saying to believe.
Yeah.
Why? I think there's a little bit more to it than just that we have a responsibility in our own. We have to believe. We have to really understand what we're doing and think about what we're doing when we're asking in prayer. It's very important to believe. Mark says, "For verily I say to you that whosoever shall say unto this mountain, Be thou removed, and be cast out into the sea, and shall not doubt in his heart, but shall believe that those things which he says shall come to pass, he shall have whatsoever he saith." Mountains move? Oh, please. I'm sorry, I'm having trouble with that, but I believe that God said this, and I believe that there's a lot of truth that we're not comprehending. What I didn't know about this verse was it connected it now to our heart. So it's not just what we say and what we think and believing, but our heart, our emotions, our passion must also come into this. When you pray, when you ask, you believe, and it brings into your heart the passion and heart becoming one, then we can do, and God can work through us to accomplish many amazing things. Therefore, I say unto you, what things soever you desire, when you pray, believe that you receive them, and ye shall have them. So, when we pray and we believe, if we believe, what we ask for shall happen. We shall receive them. So it's very important, very key thing. I'm not sure exactly how that works, but it really is an important thing to know. And because, well, first of all, I'd like to kind of differentiate between faith and belief. So faith is to have confidence or trust in a person or thing. Belief is to have confidence or conviction. Absolute. From the guts, I believe. From my guts, I know. It's true. I believe. Difference. Believing is really important. So, I don't know how many of you know it, but I've been in the car business for many years. I don't tell everybody, I don't talk about it. They say that purchasing a car is like, most people will really have a root canal. It's a very unnerving experience going into a dealership and meeting this salesperson that's probably going to rip you off. I mean, you've heard stories from your brother. It's true. And so, rather than get into it, I just don't talk about it so much. You know, but you know, car sales is really an amazing thing too, because as you know, selling a car isn't just selling a car. It really is. And you have to also believe, you have to think, you have to project. You know, I don't know how many sales books and things that I've read and studied, and you know, making goals. I'm going to sell 15 cars. I'm going to make so much money. I'm going to, you know, you have to, you know, project this. It's very important. It's part of sales. But on my 15th anniversary at one dealership, and it was kind of a really wonderful place, we were like a family there, they gave me a book, a very special book. I think it was the granddaddy of all sales, or all mind positioning books to get you ready to be successful. And it's written by Napoleon Hill back in 1937. It's called Think and Grow Rich. And this book was actually read by Carnegie, Rockefeller, Ford, Wrigley, Schwab, and many of our presidents. This is back in 1937. This is one of the books that really gave mankind an understanding of the power of positive thinking, of imaging, of thinking, and making it happen. You know, there's a difference in somebody that's successful and bringing results and not. And it's basically up here, you know, it's how you think. But actually, my favorite part of this book was one chapter. And this one chapter, it is the famous poem Invictus. Have you heard of Invictus? I can't recite the whole poem, and I only care about the last 2 lines. But the last few lines is, it matters not how straight the gate, how charged with punishments the scroll. I am the master of my fate. I am the captain of my soul. I am the captain of my soul. Another very important thing to understand, that you're in charge. Now, I'm not saying that God isn't with us, that Christ isn't with us, that true parents are not with us, our spiritual world isn't with us. I'm not saying that. But you're still in control. And I'm going to tell you why. When Henley wrote this prophetic line, I am the master of my fate, I am the captain of my soul, he should have informed us that we are the masters of our fate, the captains of our souls, because we have the power to control our thoughts.
Right.
We have the power to really control our thoughts.
Yeah, that's right.
I'm walking down the road, I see a hamburger stand, and I really want that hamburger, and but I have the power to change those thoughts and say, I'm going to have a salad.
Yes.
Right. Exactly. I have the power to control my thoughts, so I am the captain of my ship. Yes. Very important. He should have. This is it gets kind of cosmic-y, but it's cool. He should have told us that also the ether in which this little earth floats, in which we move and have our being, is a form of energy moving at an inconceivably high rate of vibration, and that the ether is filled with a form of universal power which adapts itself to the nature of the thoughts we hold in our minds, and it influences us in natural ways to transmute our thoughts into their physical equivalent. Okay. If the poet had told us of this great truth, we would know why it is that we are the masters of our fate, the captains of our souls. He should have told us with great emphasis that this power makes no attempt to discriminate between destructive thoughts and constructive thoughts. It doesn't decide.
Right.
That it'll urge us to translate into physical reality thoughts of poverty just as quickly as it will influence us to act upon the thoughts of riches.
That's right. That's right.
It doesn't differentiate.
Yeah.
You control your thoughts. Your mind takes what you put in there. He should have told us too that our brains become magnetized. This is part of it. Magnetized with the dominating thoughts which we hold in our minds, and by means with which no man is familiar, these magnets attract to us the forces, the people, the circumstances of life which harmonize with the nature of our dominating thoughts. These magnets attract. These thoughts attract. We thought they were just thoughts, right? We thought they were just, things we're thinking, things like that. But however, when you're thinking, when you're passionate, when your heart is into it, when you believe, those thoughts become powerful magnets.
Yes.
We're connected to God. We're connected to the whole universe.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
We control, through our thoughts, all these things, these situations. All these people come into our lives. You'd be amazed if you focus. And I got to tell you before I go any farther that I chose this because I really need this lesson. I'm really speaking to me. If you catch something, it's great. Because I forget. I never am telling you. I'm on surprise parties. It attracts. So there's been times when I've made goals and thought of something that was important to my life, and I focused on it and I concentrated on it. And then all of a sudden, I would meet somebody that would have this answer or this piece of information. And then as that had this relationship there, branched out into something else. And out of nowhere, things come. Things come because we make those decisions. We can change the world.
Yes.
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 That's right. That's right.
You will.
So, again, our thoughts are very important, and we have to ask ourselves, so what do we think? What is on our mind? It mentioned how it doesn't differentiate the thoughts. It can take destructive thoughts just as easily as constructive thoughts.
Yeah.
So, what kind of thoughts do you have? And you also, maybe you're not consciously thinking of something. Have you ever been watching a television show that I have? That really should have been something I really should have been watching. It's like a programming. Those thoughts are coming into your mind. Those thoughts are becoming dominating thoughts that you put into an action that causes something to happen.
Yes.
You may not know that,
That's right.
but sometimes things happen and you wonder, well, why in the heck did that happen? It's because many times of your thoughts. And so you have to be careful. So are you thinking positive thoughts? Or are you thinking negative thoughts? What kind of thoughts? So this may sound a bit secular, but I can assure you that it is not. And as you will see, I was reading an important article in a science, spiritual, metaphysical magazine, one of those kinds. It was discussing positive and negative energy, which I found to be very interesting. It was really cool. And so I'm going to build on this now. It says, that like attracts, right? Like things attract. So here's the deal. Positive people are drawn to positive energy. Negative people are drawn to negative energy.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Make sense? We tend to perceive negative energy as something other people have, right? Not us. Other people have. But did you know that negativity can be so ingrained in us that it goes unnoticed? Why is it? Why? Well, negative sometimes wears a disguise called reality. In my reality, a mountain doesn't move. In my reality. In my reality, sometimes I'm just worried about making a living to provide for my family, that I'm just not thinking of all these things. I don't know what maybe sometimes I'm thinking. It's just because I'm caught up in this reality of life, of things I've experienced before that controls what I'm doing now because I did it yesterday, I maybe did it the week before, maybe the week before that, and so it's part of my reality. And I don't think it's negative. Heck, I just think I don't even know what I think. It's just, that's the problem. I don't know.
Right. Normal.
think I jumped ahead of here. What if do I jump as a... So anyways, you have to, it's easy to rationalize that you're just being realistic and not daring to act on a dream. You may have a dream that I can't achieve that. I wanted to be a rock star when I was young. No, I mean really, I want to be on a stage, a rock star. I want to be in front of thousands of people playing the guitar and singing. I want to bring them a spiritual message about, I didn't know at the time, I was really trying to stay safe. I really wanted to talk about those things and bring those important words to people that could change their lives, that could make them understand the spiritual realms of entities, of parasites, all those kind of things. And I really did. But the reality set in. Reality of, I'm not up on that stage. In fact, I was playing in this really sleazy bar. It was terrible. Everybody was drunk. And I looked around, they were kind of gone off. I don't know if they were listening or not. I'm done. I quit. And that was it. But I let this reality set in that maybe dictated to what, maybe, who knows? Maybe if I would believe more, if I would thought more, maybe if I would have put those thoughts into the actions that bring about the peoples and the things and the experiences that cause things to happen. I didn't want it enough, maybe. I don't know. But it's this negativity is ingrained in us, so we don't notice. And how do we determine whether we are stuck in a good cloud of positive energy, or no, stuck in a cloud of negative energy that is attracting the wrong people, wrong situations, wrong feelings? And how can we be sure we're not perpetuating that negativity? So, I like quizzes, right?
Yeah.
So here's our quiz. This is a gauge to tell you if you're thinking negatively or positively. Positively. Do you complain all the time or just sometimes? I mean, it's kind of harmless complaining. Honey, why'd you leave your socks on the bed? Could you park over a little bit further so I can get my car in there too? Why didn't you bring the milk? I wanted milk with my cereal. I mean, gosh, this shirt isn't ironed again. Do we ever complain? Do we often discuss what's wrong in the world more than what's right? God, the weather is terrible. So cold. Oh, it's 120 degrees out there. It's so hot. Hey. Oh, the wind's blowing today. Oh, this traffic really sucks. California has traffic, but it has traffic here. I don't know. They gauge those lights here. They're just not timed. I don't know.
Yeah.
They're just not timed.
Right.
And what should be a minute and a half at a stoplight becomes 3 minutes. And then if you multiply that times 10, you're at 30 minutes. So you're talking about to go from here to there, it's an hour and a half. I don't understand, but it's, I don't complain about it. How about the government? God, do you know what those guys are doing? Oh, I'm not going to get you going. No. We're not going to discuss the government. But, you have to think about this. Do we criticize all the time or just certain people? Criticize. Well, I asked you to wash the dishes, but you also, why? Do you have to wear your hair like that? Kiss me. I don't know why I would say that, because I had hair down here when I was a kid. But, I look at Mike sometimes and say, Mike, why don't you change your hairstyle? little criticisms. Do we do any of those? Are you attracted to drama and disaster? Can you unglue yourself from the TV when there's a news story of a disaster and can you avoid getting involved in the lives of these dysfunctional celebrities? Yeah. Oh, please. Paris Hilton and what's her name? And Miley. What has she done lately?
Oh,
you know, I mean, I like to know what Miley's doing sometimes, you know. I mean, it's an amazing girl. She's, what, 20 years old, and she's a multi-billionaire that everybody in the whole world knows her. They don't know many important people, but everybody knows Miley and Paris. But do we get involved in their lives? Do we get hung up in their lives? Do we get glued to that TV story where the flood's taken out, you know, the whole state and everybody's in tragic? Do we just stay glued to those negative impulses? Do you blame? Do you blame people? You know, why did you do that? You didn't have to do that. You know, it's your fault. Do you ever feel like the victim? Do you talk about people doing things to you? Are you grateful for what is, or will you be grateful when things finally start going right for you? Huh?
Yes.
Are you grateful that you woke up this morning?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Me too. I'm 62. It's, you know, I'm grateful to get up in the morning, but we have to be grateful about everything that God gives us. It could be something important, an important lesson. You know, the tire went flat because we're going to meet somebody that we can witness to. The tire, we ran out of gas because, you know, somebody's going to help us that is going to be the next person to come to true parents. We don't know what it is in our heart that we're going to change. Do we take every instant and be grateful?
Yes.
Grateful of God in our lives.
Yes.
Do you feel like things are happening to you, or do you feel that they are happening through you? The last 2 points are important. If you're not grateful except when things go right, you're negative. Gratitude is positive. If you are grateful for what is, including the unpleasant school of life's lessons, then you can invite more and more positive energy into your life. If you answered yes to any of the above questions, you're holding on to the negative energy to some degree. To clear your negative energy and raise your vibration, you will need to retrain yourself to choose a positive attitude. So, what can we do? I don't know if anybody in here doesn't have any negative energy. We took the test. You know, I can't speak for anybody except myself. I know I definitely have negative energy in here somewhere. So how can we clear this? How can we change this? How can we clear our thoughts that we can become this vessel in which God can dwell in which true parents can use us? How can we control our thoughts to dominate the situation, the places, of people, to bring about a change in the world?
Yeah.
This is the 4-step process. First, take ownership. Take ownership. I am the master of my fate. I am the captain of my soul.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Come on. I am the master of my fate. I am the captain of my soul.
Yes.
I can change. I can change. I can become a better person. I can dominate my thoughts in the right way to accomplish what we need to do.
Yes.
When you think everything is someone else's fault, you will suffer a lot. By the way, this is by the Dalai Lama. When you realize that everything springs only from yourself, you will learn both peace and joy. Again, that is from Dalai Lama. We need to cancel negative thoughts and replace them with positive thoughts. This takes practice, dedication, and making a decision to see the world through the eyes of what can go right instead of what can go wrong. You'll have to catch yourself anytime you're acting out or speaking out your negativity and immediately change your tune. So this goes back to, we're the captain of our ships because we control our thoughts. But, you know, sometimes thoughts come, right, that aren't good thoughts. And now what do we do when those thoughts come? Well, many times I kind of get into it. It kind of feels good. But we can change our thoughts at that point. We can stop and change it to a positive thought. How can we do that? We can use true love and our spiritual toolkit, which is True Parents' words, to clear our energy and bring more light and love into our life. visualize the positive instead of getting sucked into negativity. Overcome past conditioning. You have to overcome that. And intuitively, the soul instead goes from this reality, creates a new desired reality in our imagination. So there is kind of reality in there. I'm not going to be a rock star. That reality is in there. But I can change that reality by my thoughts. And when I catch this, I can't make it as a rock star. If I took those thoughts and changed it to, I'm going to be a rock star, well, maybe it's too late. The other thing you can do is go back up to the test we just took and reverse each one of those situations. And doing those things will help us to have this positive energy, this energy that actually is in tune with God and true parents. So what's going to happen then? Your positive energy will magnetically attract what you consider to be the good and right for you. The people, the situations, the things. And you'll notice a huge, huge increase in your happiness and your inner peace. So, that sermon would be complete without some words from true parents, Father. So this is from the Chung Sung Young, Book 5, Chapter 1. 2.3. The cosmos in which we live today has two axes, a visible axis and an invisible axis, creating a dual structure. Objects revolve around the subject, which itself rotates. What is the center of a person's body? It is the mind. The body revolves around the mind and moves according to its commands. The body cannot move as its own whims. It can't. I mean, your body just isn't going to take off on you or whatever. It's going to do what you tell it to do. You tell it to walk, you're going to walk. You tell it to run, you're going to run. If you tell it to clap, you're going to clap. It isn't going to do any of those things on its own. People must heed their minds in seeking their destinies. Before the gateway to heaven, an entrance into a labyrinth of challenges are going to come up. But the current, and this is interesting, the current trend of thought is ushering in a time of fear, insecurity, and chaos. The current trend of thought, what people are thinking, are bringing and multiplying into to come to pass a difficult time in our world today, a difficult situation. It is time in which people cannot hold on to their center, however hard they try. 2.4 is resonance means vibrating at the same frequency. Our internal self and our external self should be able to resonate, centering on love. In resonance, sound waves coincide and become intertwined, all the while oscillating around the core. Likewise, when the spirit self and the physical self harmonize with each other in God's love, spiritual cells and physical cells engage in perfect motion together. Therefore, once our physical self and spirit self become one and attain a volatile state through the force of love, heaven and earth, God and everything else must resonate sympathetically. Yes. So if we put our body in tune with the resonance, God will resonate with us if it's on the same wavelength. And then that's when we bring the people, the places, the things to accomplish what we need to accomplish. Wow. It's the same with a tuning fork. When you strike one of the prongs, when the other prong vibrates at the same frequency. Tuning fork, bang, you hit it, there's two prongs. One starts vibrating, the other one goes to exactly the same pitch. They resonate together. So, what do we believe? Do we believe in God?
Yes.
Do we believe in God's providence of restoration to establish the kingdom of heaven on earth?
Yes.
Do we believe in true parents?
Yes.
Yes. We do. I'd like to read just a few words. True Mother Service. With only a little more than 5 years until this diamond anniversary, will you buy a large diamond for your parents? Meaning, will you offer this nation to God? Furthermore, will you offer the world to God? Think about what kind of mindset is best to have in welcoming today. Because of true parents, you are the first blessed families in history. Thanks to true parents, you welcome Foundation Day and have all gathered in a position where you could register as citizens of Chanyeolguk. You can become a representative of the royal family and form a dignified family. Your efforts will decide this. What will you choose to do? There's a saying that happiness increases as it is shared with others. And this applies when you share the things that you know with others. Inform the world's people and reveal the true parents to them. To be able to show them you cannot think lightly of your responsibilities, spending day after day in the same way. If you do, you cannot be in the position of the first ancestor of a dignified family. What is True Mother asking us to do? Bishop Kim was here, as you know, and many of you were there. He made it perfectly clear in his presentation Friday night what we should do. One thing I was really, really joyous about is Mother wants to build a church of love, fellowship, and harmony. Can you imagine walking to the room and everybody's, oh, hi, Greg, how are you today? Oh, Greg, can I get you a coffee? Oh, Greg, how's the wife from Wouldn't that, when we walk in, we just feel this love.
Yes.
Oh, the love of God flowing through each and every one of us as we become a family.
Yes.
A family.
Yes.
Where we share. We love. Together. Harmony. Under our true parents. Wouldn't that be wonderful?
Yes.
Mother's asking and hoping. Mother's main focus, though, is witnessing and to testify to true parents. She said that we, America, must take responsibility for the world providence. You know, I was joking the other day about how important Las Vegas is. And if you're not living here, don't take this personal. But Las Vegas really is the center of the cosmos right now.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So we have to bring an offering of people to True Mother. We should make a prayer condition and other spiritual conditions to bring this victory.
Yes.
What are these conditionings doing? I mean, it is a condition, of course, which I understand. But also, when you're making conditions, aren't you thinking about what you're supposed to be doing? Yeah. If you're fasting, you know why you're fasting, right? Mm-hmm. And then are you thinking about what you're fasting for? Especially when you get hungry, right? Right. When you're praying for that, whatever time period or wherever place, or you're going to that Punake every day, or when you're doing that, you're thinking about why and what you're doing. You're putting these thoughts, these positive thoughts in your mind that bring about the people, the places, the things to accomplish the things that need to be. We have to understand our attitude at this time. Check every day our attitude towards being a part of the royal family. Our investment is critical to achieve this connection. Under True Mother's leadership, we have to fulfill our responsibility as a tribal Messiah. True parents. Now, some of you were there. If I heard this wrong, you can let me know. But two parents want Las Vegas to be the most blessed church in the world.
Yes.
He said that. Well, maybe when she goes to Hawaii, she might say something. But she really said that. She wants Las Vegas. She's looking at Las Vegas. It's so important, each and every one of you. So, two parents. Reverend Jenkins actually added that Las Vegas is the center of the miracle movement right now and should lead the world in that movement into Chanukuk. He said a true member of Chanukuk is in harmony with true parents and a true temple of God. So what are we going to do? How are we going to accomplish this? First, we're going to believe. We're going to believe with conviction. This is God's providence, isn't it?
Yes.
Yes. God said, I have willed it and I will bring it to pass.
Yes.
God's behind us.
Yes.
We have true parents who are telling us. Father never thought, I can't do that, did he?
No.
Did he ever stop and go, I don't think I can do that?
No.
Never. He did it.
Yes.
Right? We have to change our thoughts.
Yes.
I am the master of my fate. I am the captain of my soul. Let's focus on our thoughts. Let's change our thoughts. Let's change them to positive thoughts. Permeate our minds with true parents' words.
Yes.
Think about what Mother's asking us. Read about how we should be. Talking about those things. Talking about witness. We need to become serious and passionate about our responsibilities. Passion is really important. The heart's really important. If you're not passionate, it's hard to do. It's hard to keep those focused thoughts. If we believe in true parents and the blessing, we should feel the joy of reaching out and witnessing. I mean, we should. I'm not saying I do. Please don't. I'm not. But that's what we should feel. We should be thinking about this person we're going to meet. Didn't you always say that when you speak? Imagine, think about, put it in your mind. Picture the person that you're going to meet, that God's going to send to you. Right? And imagine to proclaim true parents. No, we are the captains of our ship, the master of our universe. I understand God, true parents. But in many ways, we still can do it. We just have to believe. We have to believe. This is a time to make this offering by 2020. Mother has so clearly put in front of us. We can do it. She wouldn't ask if we couldn't do it. She knows that we can do it. Father knows that we can do it. God knows that we can do it. Just start with our thoughts, our mind, and believe.
Yes.
Thank you.